Apple's iPhone 17 series is shaping out to bring a notable boost to wireless charging with support for the new Qi 2.2 standards, enabling up to 25-watt charging speeds even with third-party MagSafe accessories. Unlike current iPhones, which are capped at 15 watts on non-Apple chargers, the iPhone 17 looks to break that barrier. Regulatory filings and new Qi 2.2 certified accessories like UGreen's MagFlow power bank does suggest a shift is underway just ahead of Apple's September launch. With faster speeds, better magnetic alignment, and wider compatibility, Qi 2.2 could actually make wireless charging. Qi 2 is actually going to make substantial changes to the wireless charging experience with the iPhone. Now let's move on to colors. We now have what might be the most definitive list yet of iPhone 17 colors, and it confirms something big. According to a new report from Macworld, which claims to have obtained internal Apple documentation, the full iPhone 17 series will come in a much wider range of colors than before with fresh shades. So in this video, we're breaking down exactly what this new leaked color list says, how it lines up with previous rumors, what this new orange finish means for the iPhone 17 Pro series, and how the rest of the colors stack up, including a brand new sky blue for the ultra-thin iPhone 17 Air and a new steel grey option for the base model. Let's get into it. So like I said, Macworld's Felipe Esposito, I hope I'm not pronouncing that last name horribly wrong, but they've published what's being called an internal color document from Apple, showing the full list of finishes coming to each iPhone 17 model, including Pantone references and names Apple's reportedly using internally. And from what's listed, it lines up with previous accessory leaks, but gives us way more confidence that this is the final color lineup. Let's start with the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, because that's where the biggest surprise is. According to the report, they'll come in 5 colors: black, white, grey, dark blue, and orange. The orange finish is the same one we saw hinted at in Sonny Dixon's lens cover leak, though it is less coppery and more papaya, I would say. I like it a lot, and it looks nothing like any previous shade on the Pro models, which have been variants of grey, so that's exciting, and now it's been backed up by a document claiming to be inside from Apple. The last time we saw an orange iPhone was the Coral iPhone XR, and that was more of a salmon colour with a touch of pink, whereas this seems more like a proper orange. And honestly, I can see this orange Pro iPhone pairing well with the Apple Watch Ultra. We've seen this idea pop up before, by the way. Remember back during the iPhone 13 Pro leaks, we got renders of a bronze or burnt orange colour that never actually made it to market. It either got scrapped late into development or was never real to begin with, but it looks like Apple's revived the idea for 2025. And honestly, I think it's going to be a massive hit, because this will 100% stand out and make it clear to everyone this is the new iPhone. I feel like Apple giving us such a bold colours directly because they're moving away from titanium and reportedly switching to aluminium for the iPhone 17 Pro's frame. And while aluminium isn't as premium feeling as titanium, it's easier to manufacture, it's lighter, and is most importantly easier to colour. That's clearly opened the door for more adventurous Pro finishes like this orange. It's no coincidence that the titanium models, like the 15 and 16 Pro, were stuck with muted greys and blues, because titanium is notoriously difficult to colour. With aluminium, Apple can get back to doing finishes that actually stand out. By the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown, this would be a great time to hit that subscribe button. We've got loads more iPhone 17 content coming, so don't miss out. Now let's talk about the iPhone 17 and 17 Air, because their colours are pretty interesting as well. Starting with the base iPhone 17, the leak says it's coming in 6 colours: black, white, steel grey, green, purple, and light blue. Steel grey is apparently a darker shade than the usual silver, but it's not quite midnight level dark. It's that in-between cooler grey that sits nicely between black and white. The rest of the lineup sounds similar to previous years, but again, there's a big emphasis on light colours, light purple, light blue, and a pastel green. I'm a bit disappointed to hear that, because honestly, I did like how saturated the finishes were on the 16, especially the ultramarine, but it seems with the base model, Apple likes to flip-flop between bright and light colours every year, so this year is the light year, similar to the 15. The iPhone 17 Air, the rumoured ultra-thin model, is also getting its own exclusive finishes. According to the document, it will come in black, white, light blue, and light gold. Now, the light blue is said to be based on the sky blue colour from the M4 MacBook Air, which makes perfect sense since this is also a product that will fall under the Air category. It's a soft frosty blue that should pair well with the lightweight look and feel of the Air. Mijimbi also previously leaked these colours, saying the Air would come in black, silver, gold, and sky blue, and while the naming differs slightly, the options do match what's been confirmed by Macworld. So it's fair to say we now have a very strong sense of what Apple's planning for the iPhone 17 Air. One interesting takeaway: gold is actually gone from the Pro lineup, at least for now. That's a pretty big change. Gold has been a mainstay Pro color for a long time. It was a luxury finish. Yes, I know Apple briefly removed it with the iPhone 15 Pro series, but then they brought it back and rebranded it as Desert Titanium, so it's surprising to me they're getting rid of it again. Maybe its removal here can mean Apple sees this new orange as the premium hue. If so, that's a bold shift in strategy. And speaking of bold, we're still seeing dark blue return for the 17 Pro. That's sounding like a revival of the blue titanium finish from the 15 Pro, that deep navy blue, that subtly changed tone depending on lighting. It was a pretty popular color, so for those who wanted Apple to make a dark blue Pro iPhone again, you can rejoice. Personally, I will always prefer lighter blues though, and it's a bit of a shame the sky blue colour isn't coming to the Pros as initially rumoured. The orange still gets me tingling though, and orange is a very close second favourite colour for me, so I'm fine with it. Now of course, colours are only half the story. Apple's also expected to debut a vapor chamber cooling system in the 17 Pro. A leaked copper heat spreader suggests Apple's finally catching up to the Android one in terms of thermal design, allowing for better sustained performance, especially with the new A19 Pro chipset that's expected to ship inside. And with rumours pointing towards 12 gigs of RAM for all but the base iPhone 17, we're looking at a pretty serious performance jump across the board. The base 17 may miss out on 12 gigs of RAM, but it is still expected to get the regular A19 chipset with 8 gigs of RAM, though I'm more excited about thinner bezels. Apple made a big deal last year about the 16 Pro having the thinnest bezels ever on an iPhone, and they weren't wrong. But with the 17, Apple's taking things even further, and this time it's not just a Pro feature. According to sources like Digital Chat Station, all 4 iPhone 17 models will feature ultra-thin bezels. That includes the base iPhone 17, the 17 Air, and of course the Pro and Pro Max. This is a pretty big deal because it means Apple's finally standardizing the design language across the range. No more entry-level iPhones looking dated out of the box. It also allows Apple to bump up the screen size without increasing the size of the phones themselves. The 17, for example, is moving from 6.1 to 6.3 inches, the 17S slots in at 6.6 inches, the Pro 6.3 inches, and the Pro Max will still be a massive 6.9 inches. So this essentially means, at least from the front, the 17 and 17 Pro will both use the same 6.3-inch ProMotion displays. Pretty great considering there will likely be a $200 difference between these phones, though the Pro may offer slightly higher brightness, and Apple may software lock the always-on display. As for launch timing, Mark Gurman reports that Apple's targeting the week of September 8th for the iPhone 17 event. That lines up with Apple's traditional post-Labor Day schedule, and gives us less than 2 months until the big reveal. So what do you think? Are you all in on this orange iPhone 17 Pro, or are you leaning more towards that returning dark blue? And for those considering the 17 Air, does sky blue make it the perfect lightweight iPhone? Let me know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.